Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis, update of commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. If you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all of these sectors, topics, looking for potential investment opportunities. And I share that with everyone in the community of what I'm doing, what I'm looking at, what I'm buying, what I'm not buying, and why I am buying it. We do have a discount code that is active Black Friday. So Black Friday gives you some discount on the monthly membership and a larger discount on the yearly membership if you'd like to sign up for the yearly membership or switch from a monthly to a yearly. Let's dive in. Let's take a look, see what's going on today. So starting with the dollar, again, it's important to understand these dynamics at play. That's why I start with the dollar and yields. The DXY heading higher. I kind of expected that. And what I was looking at was the lack of selling pressure coming off this resistance level. The blue resistance level is this guy going across. We came up there, got a little bit of resistance. But we didn't really sell off hard off that resistance. And here we are tracking up again. It is being driven by the strength of yields, and the monetary strength is what they call it. And yields going up generally drags the dollar up. Some can view it that liquidity in the system could also be in question, and that can drive debt higher. Debt dollars is debt, and or the requirement for interest rates to move up and people's unwillingness to own debt. So looking at the 2-year yields, the 2-year yields are working its way on up today. We did break through this trend line that I drew in there, but it wasn't a very convincing break. We had a nice strong bounce yesterday, and here we are working our way higher. We'll see what that looks like over the next few trading sessions. The 10-year continuing up 0.45%. We are on support, and we are getting that support. And I want to see what it looks like going forward. Is it higher, or are we going to go sideways here? I don't think lower is in the cards yet. That's why we have that wick at the bottom, and we're holding steady on support. And then the 30-year also higher, but we're above a whole bunch of different support, and that still looks good to go higher as there isn't a ton of selling pressure up here. You see any big red candlesticks, big strong selling pressure or yield declining candlesticks is what I'll call it? There isn't. So I'm in the camp that this is going to go higher. And to me, this looks like a flag pattern or pennant formation that's ready to move on up. TYX TNX ratio, we were down just ever slightly. Again, this is inverted, big invert. We've stayed inverted. We haven't uninverted yet. And generally when you uninvert, that's when precious metals go ballistic. They like liquidity coming into the system or the potential of future liquidity to come into the system. And that's when yields start to dive down. That is when the markets slow down in terms of there is, we'll call it fear in the market. And that's when gold generally goes higher and other precious metals along with it. TLT, which is bond prices, falling a little bit today. We are underneath a bunch of resistance. See all that resistance coming across here and coming on up there. We are underneath all of it. We got a lot of work to do if yields are going to fall and fall substantially to get above those resistance areas. The 2 and 10, we are inverting the curve today by 0.3%. So the curve is reinverting. The 2-year went up more than the 10-year, and it was going up with yields. So we're up a little bit. We are still within this pattern. I don't know which way it's going to break yet, but here we are coming on down, and we're in this pattern, consolidating inside that pattern at this current time. Gold is still up. $21 an ounce is what I'm seeing. It looks decent. This could be a potential shoulder, head, shoulder little topping pattern that we've got to go through. and maybe potentially work our way out of that little pattern there. But it's still holding on, and it looks all right. We've got silver down a little bit, down about 1%. We've broken out of this pattern here. Let's see what happens next. Do we get a little bit of a further pullback? Not likely. I'm guessing that we're still going to go higher because you broke out of the falling wedge. We created a big bullish engulfing. It's not a huge selling pressure candlestick. I'll still be optimistic at this point here. Platinum is a little bit more getting a little bit more selling pressure. It is a bearish engulfing. Those are generally reversal candlesticks that can reverse lower in the short term. So silver now, when you go back and look at it, could this pull back some? It could, because we're seeing it in other areas. And then palladium also getting a little bit of selling pressure. We're underneath resistance. We're not totally by it, but we're underneath it. And there is some resistance if you look to the left. There's a lot of resistance coming through here, so we got to break through all that. GDX down a little bit, GDXJ down a little bit, and SILJ down a little bit more. The momentum on these is still lower. We're coming down. This one doesn't have as much momentum as SILJ, but we've come on down, we've bounced, and we'll probably bounce around here for a little bit. GDX doing something very similar. Big move lower. We'll see what this looks like and if we bounce around. And then SILJ's got a much larger momentum thing and not as big of a bounce. That still looks like it is subject to potential move lower. XAU to gold ratio down a little bit today, about 1% down. We're still above everything. Everything still looks the same as it has the past few months even. Everything looks good. We're still hanging in. We've still broken out of that downtrend line. We're just waiting for gold and silver to keep going higher. Crude oil, we are down 0.23%. This to me still looks really good for a potential move higher. The reason I say higher is because we have a big bullish engulfing here, and we've got not a lot of selling pressure here. So that has the ability to move on higher here. It looks good to me. If that is the case, we would start to see the equities and people start to position in the equities if crude oil is probably going to go up. So we can look at the equities, the ETFs, to see if people are positioning in it. TTF net gas up 2.15%. Momentum is still to the upside, still looking pretty good. Natural gas in America up over 7%. We are breaking away from this trend line here and moving on up. We could see a very dramatic move in natural gas in a short period is definitely possible. A lot of opportunities in natural gas companies that the entrance was here because the equities were already breaking out before natural gas broke out. There was positioning that occurred before natural gas. So when you look at crude oil and you put this all together, our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, what's happening here? On the daily candlestick, we are higher. Wait, I thought all these guys said that oil is going to crash to $35 a barrel. Well, then why is everybody positioning in the equities? Because they are wrong. Downtrend line broke into the upside when Trump took presidency. That's what that big gap there is. I do not think it's because of a Trump presidency. I think it's because they were holding it down during elections, and now what's holding it down during elections ceases to exist, perhaps. We're starting to break higher in XOP, and this is getting dang close to a monster breakout, baby. Here we go. Let's break out and change portfolios and change people's lives. But that looks good. We've got OIH also heading higher, 1.4% on the energy service companies. This looks bullish formation. Big flagpole. You get a small consolidation, and then you rip higher. Those always look good. And inversely, you have the absolute opposite here, and then your downward move is the same size as this move lower. Then we came into a double bottom. We come into some resistance. Underneath resistance, we created the flag pattern or the falling wedge, and we are breaking that to the upside. There is your entire pattern all explained for you, the viewer. Newcastle Coal Futures up 0.35%. If natural gas keeps going higher, where do you think this is going to go? Come on, guys. You know your falling wedges. You know that there's small selling pressure here. You know we want to go higher. We got some resistance above us. Our lows are continuing to come on up into that resistance. We already know all this. We've gone over it a lot. And we know the companies that are good in all these sectors. At least if you're part of the website, we know which all the good companies are. And they're paying us fat dividends. Thank you. Sprout Physical Uranium Trust, we're up against resistance. We're trying to break through that resistance. Got a little bit of selling pressure today, down 2.9%. Do we just give up? No. We don't give up, guys. There's the big flag. You're going to break out of it and go higher. Just be patient. It's coming. The energy gain for 2020s in terms of long term is spectacular, guys. Spectacular. Uranium futures pricing down just a tad today, but still looks good to go higher. Big bullish engulfing candlestick there with just small selling pressure. Little bloody nose. URA down 1.66% today. Is it a reversal candlestick? We got support underneath us. Just be patient. URNM down 1.5% or so. It could reverse a little bit. We got to see what follow through it has. Patience, guys. We might just get a couple of small candlesticks and then move higher, which will then be a falling wedge, flag pattern, whatever the heck it wants to put in. URNJ doing the same thing. Could be a little flag pattern, a little bit of a consolidation over the next couple of days. We do have some resistance coming through here. So don't get your panties in a bunch. Be all right. Copper continuing a little bit higher, up 0.17. We are still above support here. Is this kind of an inverted flag? Not really. It's kind of messy. I think we probably bounce above support and then work our way on up. That would be my guess. COPX down just a teeny bit. It looks okay though. We've got iron ore flat. Iron ore's been flat for a little while here. Still looks good on the long term. Big buying pressure, small selling pressure coming into this flag pattern. It still looks good to go higher. Nothing new. Aluminum up against resistance still. Once we break out of this, the company that I like will absolutely go unhinged. Nickel up 1.5%. Looks like it's trying to get some bottoming action, trying to work its way on up. We'll see if it's successful. Moo, just right on support. That's all it is, right on support. We'll see if it holds. Emerging markets, stronger dollar. A lot of these, they're not going to like the stronger dollar, stronger yield. So sideways, slightly lower. And then you'll start to see when yields and dollars start to go up, you'll originally see big movements coming down, and then it'll bottom out and start to turn. That's kind of what this looks like. It'll do something like that. That's my guess. KRE down a little bit, stronger dollar, stronger yields. TAN going different than stronger dollar, stronger yields, but it is a bullish engulfing. We'll see if we get any upside momentum here in Invesco Solar ETF TAN. Lithium holding on. I do think this is going to break to the upside here soon. It looks good. Looks good. REMX down just a teeny bit today, and that's right up against resistance, and we'll see if we can get any momentum to the upside generated. There is the possibility, though, that this is a flag pattern inverted, that we do dive one last time, perhaps. That is still a possibility. Baltic Dry Index getting absolutely smoked today, down 7%, bouncing off that resistance area, but still at an acceptable level, just moving sideways. XHB, stronger yield, stronger dollar, but it's holding on. So the housing market is looking strong, at least home builders. But I do think that we're going to need lower yields. We need the mortgage rate to fall. And I know they're buying down rates. The home builders are for people buying new homes. It's one of the things that they're doing. But mortgage rates are high. They are high. Russell 2000 up up just a teeny bit. Still looks okay to go higher. We fell down a lot slower here than what we came up, so that's a bullish formation. SPX just moving sideways, still hanging on, and then NASDAQ still hanging on too, just moving sideways for the most part at a very high level here. SMCI down 8.7%, still looks like garbage. I wouldn't touch it. NVIDIA down a little bit. It looks like it's sideways at this moment after hours. I know they're releasing earnings. It doesn't look too bad though. It's holding on. It looks like a decent setup here. We'll see what happens. Bitcoin up 2%. Got to keep the tethers rolling here, boys. Got to keep the tethers. A lot of speculation around fraudulence in the tether portion of what's driving this move. Increased tether. And then our boy Michael Saylor keeps buying. Might as well buy at all-time highs, right? Ethereum down a little bit, down 1%. It's holding in there. And this is a tough little read here. We could get a little bit of a downside move, but it's still a bit bullish formation. Huge pull, and then this could be some sort of flag or something like that as it kind of dips around in here. But that's what we're seeing there for Ethereum. And then the VIX continues to work its way on up a little bit, about 5% up for volatility S&P 500. But that's all I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. That Black Friday coupon code. Yearly memberships are definitely a little bit discounted. So that's all I've got for today. We've got a question and answer session coming up 7 a.m. Mountain Time on Saturday. Bring your questions. Bring whatever you like. Ask me whatever you like. I'll share my opinions. I can't do anything one-on-one or anything like that, but I can share what I'm doing, share my opinions, and how I'm setting things up. All right, guys, that's all I've got for today. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.